Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. If you're watching us for the very first time, this is Money Africa. Money Africa is a financial education platform that we get to teach you all you need to know about your money, how to earn it, how to grow it, and how to build it in the long run. So today we have a very interesting topic. You know, a lot of people reach out to us and they're asking, Tosin, what are the things I could have actually avoided on my investment journey? Things I wish I knew before I started investing. Things like mistakes that I could have avoided. And today we'll be talking to you about ding dong, 7 money mistakes you do not want to make. And if you're already making that mistake, guess what? You can actually stop it. Let's start. Number 1. Lifestyle inflation. What is lifestyle inflation? Lifestyle inflation basically means that your revenue is growing, or in this case, your income. So I'm talking about your salary, and if you work for yourself, your business profit that you pay yourself a salary out of, or any other form of income is growing at the same pace as your expenses. So you can see what's going on here. You're seeing a jump in your income and you're seeing the same amount of jump in your expenses. So it cancels each other out. That's exactly what lifestyle inflation is all about. So whenever lifestyle inflation happens, people are actually then, increasing their consumption. So all of a sudden, a neighborhood is not good enough for them anymore. They want to upgrade, and there is nothing wrong about upgrading. But if you are consuming as fast as you're earning, then you have a not new position. Number 2, we're talking about high interest debts or no payoff plan. Now, what is happening here is a lot of people have debt, and debt is not necessarily a bad thing. We have 2 kinds of debts. We have the good debt and the bad debt. What is a good debt? A good debt is a situation whereas the cost of the capital, right, is lower than your return in investment. Quick example. Let's say I get a loan for 10% per annum, and then I invest that loan in a business that is giving me 25% per annum. You can see that the return on my investment is higher than the cost of that loan. So that's a fantastic kind of loan. However, if I took a loan to buy shoes, buy clothes, or things that are non-essentials, things that could wait, things that I could delay, right? That's not a good debt. So now, talking about interest and debt, if you do not pay off your debt, is a money mistake. There are 2 ways to go about it. We have number 1, the snowball method, and we have number 2, the avalanche method. What is a snowball method? A snowball method basically means that you are having a situation where as you pay off your smaller debts. So let's say, for example, you have a debt of 100,000 naira, you have a debt of 500,000 naira, you have a debt of 1 million naira. So if you start off with 100,000 naira, you finish paying it up, then you go to the next one, then you go to the next one. A lot of people get satisfaction, they get peace, they get that feeling of happiness. The other one is the avalanche, and that makes so much sense. In this case, you're prioritizing the interest rates, right? You're telling yourself, I'm going to go for the highest interest rate. This makes more business sense in the sense that you get to pay a lower interest expense. Now let's go to the next one. Number 3 is not investing or waiting to invest. Now, when you're investing on your journey of investment, time is a critical element. Time is a critical element. We did a scenario once and we said that, do you know that if you were investing $300 on a monthly basis with about 10% per annum, after 30 years, that's a whooping $1 million. And people were like, what? Are you for real? But guess what? If you did that scenario in 10 years, you're not going to get a 1/3 of $1 million. You're going to get way less. And that is the power of time. Time does a lot of magic. Let's bring it to Naira and Kobo, right? We did a scenario, like let's say you started investing from the age of 25 and you were investing as little as 20,000 Naira on a monthly basis, getting 10% per annum. By the time you hit retirement, guess how much that is? It's a whooping 210 million Naira. If you were to start 10 years after, you would have only had 75 million Naira. You'd have lost about 135 million just by starting 10 years later, right? And that's why we keep telling people, start where you are with what you have. Don't wait before you become a billionaire. So if it is 50,000 naira or $100 you can do it. If it is $200 or 100,000 naira you can do it. If it is 10,000 naira or that's equivalent of about $20, do it. Do what you can with what you have and leverage on the power of time. Another beautiful thing about starting investment early is that you already imbibe the habit. A lot of people think that when they become richer, they're going to start investing, but guess what? You're going to have more expenses. You might get married, you might have kids, or you might even have more expensive habits. So don't wait till you blow, that they say in Nigeria. Don't wait till you blow. You can start with what you have. Number 4, hoarding cash. Now let's talk about hoarding cash. A lot of people just hold on to cash. I had a former colleague that told me that, Tosin, I love to see my money in my bank account. Tosin, gives me so much joy to just see millions of naira in my account. So she leaves her money in her account because she likes to see it whenever she withdraws. But guess what? You can actually see that same balance in the stock market. You can see that same balance in your high yield in savings account. You can see that same balance in your mutual funds, right? So if the balance is giving you joy, why don't you put it in an investment and then just go check the balance there, right? So lots and lots of people just put money in savings, low interest savings from traditional financial institutions that are giving you interest rates that is significantly lower than inflation rates, right? And because you're hoarding cash, you're not taking any action, you're putting your money in savings and you're sitting still, you are losing money. There's an opportunity cost for not making an investment move. If you've watched this video so far, there's a very high chance that you're actually enjoying the content and you're actually getting good knowledge. So guess what? Click on the subscribe button to join us, send it to your friends, and do not enjoy the knowledge alone. Number 5 is keeping up with the Joneses. This could also be keeping up with the Adenogas or even keeping up with the Clintons, right? So basically what's happening here is actually benchmarking against other people, right? It could be your neighbors, it could be people in church, people you work with, or even co-workers. Yes, very possible. So how do we address this? Contrary to what a lot of people think about, money is actually more of mindset than of knowledge. So you need to be able to address the mindset, have honest conversations. Why am I purchasing this? Now, having a purchase is not even such a bad thing. It's a problem when that purchase is not for you. Imagine buying things that means nothing to you. You need to start prioritizing things that mean something to you. So for instance, for a particular person, vacations could be important for them. For another person, could actually be buying books and discovering libraries amongst others, right? So every time you're making an expense, you have to ensure that that expense is actually for you, not for other people, right? It also helps us to stay on track. It helps us to cut off unnecessary things, cut off the fat, right? So that way we're running a slim budget and we're actually prioritizing the things that are important to us. So when we spend money, we're actually spending money that we can connect with, that actually means something to us as an individual or as a group. Let's say we're talking about a family. Number 6, we're talking about budgeting, having no budget. That's one of the money mistakes to avoid. Now, the thing is this, right? A lot of people think about budget from a point of bondage, right? So they're thinking budget bondage, they're thinking budget restriction. That's not how you should think about it. You should think about budget from a place of abundance. You should think about budget from a place of putting power in your hands. Imagine you're sitting down in a car and you're actually holding the driver steering in your own hands, right? You're in control, and that's how I want you to see it. It puts power in your hands. Now, and that the minute we start having that kind of idea and feeling about budget, it's an easier thing to then address. So if you don't see it as a bondage, as something restrictive, you start looking at it from a positive light, then it's able for you, then you're empowered to actually use it well. Do you know that there are companies that actually sell your data, your budgeting data to companies? So for instance, they could say, oh, there's a young woman, she's 30 years of age, she purchases X, Y, and Z weekly, she spends X amount purchasing this. They have that information so that they can create products targeted at you. So now imagine people buying your own data, you're not using it to your own advantage. That's going to be a problem. Now there are several budgeting methods out there. However, there's this one we talk about. It's called the 50-30-20. We have spoken about this in extensive detail on our platform www.themoneyafrica.com, but I'm going to talk about it briefly here. The 50-30-20 basically means that 50% of your income goes towards your essentials, things you need to survive. I'm talking about rent, groceries, food, like, you know, all the things you need to survive, while 30% goes towards your luxury. So I'm talking about hang out with the girls, hang out with the guys, you know, for those that are Nigerians, Asho Ebi, and all these other nice things that you'd like to have, while 20% goes towards investment. Do not play with that 20%. Every time you play with the 20%, what are you doing? You're paying yourself last. Always pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. Number 7, the last but not the least, is that spending every penny you make. I know we talk a lot about spending, but spending in itself is not such a bad thing. Why don't you ask yourself, how can I make more money? Right? There are 2 levers here. There's the lever to make money, and then there's the lever to spend. The biggest secret is how to balance it. If you're doing this making money, but you're spending at the same time, it defeats the purpose. If you're doing this making money and you're keeping your expenses here, voila, right? So just basically managing the levers and managing the mechanics. So I don't want you to see spending as a bad thing. Spending in itself is not such a bad thing, but what are we spending in comparison to, right? So for instance, let's say you make 100,000 naira per month, right? And that's about $200. However, an iPhone costs $600, right? That means that you would have used 3 months worth of your salary to buy an iPhone, right? If you were making $1 million in a month, right, and you wanted to buy an iPhone, it's 60% of your monthly income, as opposed, no, that's not 60%. $600 is 300,000 naira, yeah, compared to 1 million. So it's 30% of your monthly salary. So you can see how it works, right? So it's more about spending in comparison to how much you earn, as opposed to just spending. So I want you to start seeing it in a positive light. How am I spending compared to how I earn? How can I make more money? Now, these are the 7 money mistakes from Money Africa. Did you enjoy this? Why don't you click on the subscribe button? Tell somebody about us. Come into the comment section. What did I leave out? I'd like to hear from you. What are the money mistakes that you have made? Tell me about it. Can I tell you mine? For the first 4 years of my career, I lived from hand to mouth, and I do not want you to do that. My name is Oluwatosin Olaseni, and I'm the founder of Money Africa. Thank you.